here. Come here. Your ancestors have been talking to you this whole time, and you just didn't know what to listen for or what to look for. It's okay. That is why I'm here. I walked this path 10 years, and I didn't know either. Because nobody taught us how to really hear. You see these clairs, you see these things, but what does that look like in the real world? Look, nobody taught me either. What I'm saying, I had to read the books, and then I had to walk this path. And I'm going to share with you some ways that your ancestors are already speaking to you. Okay, you've already made progress. You just didn't know. And maybe you'll leave with some confirmation, hopefully a sigh of relief and an openness to continue walking this journey, because you are already receiving messages and you probably already know. Because remember, I'm reminding you, okay? I ain't telling you nothing new. So, what do these ancestral messages actually look like in your real life? Because I promise you, you have already received some, just like I did. The first ancestral message I remember writing down was in 2016. It was a dream. So you probably already had one, especially if you're not just super new to your journey. But here is what happens when we call out to our ancestors. It's not just this physical call. Your energy and your signature is in your ashe, right? It is chi in that. Your energy is literally reaching out your astral self, your energetic body. And most of us are waiting for this big return back, Sometimes that so raven vision or even a voice. But no, even though some people do have those abilities already ready, ripe, and open to go, most of us don't, right? We got to develop that. And since spirit is not loud like that anyway, spirit is very subtle. So when you have this large expectation, that in and of itself becomes a barrier to recognizing when spirit's actually speaking to you. And then what do? I can't connect and I can't hear them. And now you're reinforcing this, you're reinforcing it, okay? You don't mean to. This is not judgment, but I want you to be aware so you can then stop and you can choose a different way. So I'm here to remind you that you are always connected to your ancestors. Always. I am connected to my ancestors. But many people don't say this. They speak in the subtleties of life, and they speak through you and within you. And that voice sounds like yours oftentimes. And sometimes I have experienced it sounding different, but it's still here. It's within. That voice requires you to trust that within. That is how you strengthen it. So here are 4 signs to get you started. I needed to tell you this because the signs ain't going to help you if you don't know. Like this, listening and trusting strengthens that connection. This is another way that you are strengthening that connection and removing the blocks and the conditioning. So number 1, dreams. The first sign. And my first sign was a dream, and I mentioned that. I consider myself a dream walker by lineage, because all my siblings have all experienced a very profound dream as we were in our threshold age, at 12 age. Everyone in my family dreams heavily. And then I remember telling my grandma I had a dream of visitation, and she was like, "Oh, you're a dream walker." And I was like, "Okay." And then I had to read it. They told me I was a dream walker. So it's been confirmed numerous times. And families have gifts that are circulating. So if you've heard some things, that might be your sign. Okay, I have this. Let me lean into that. But for me, dreams. And a dream journal, I think anyone walking this path should have one. Mainly because that is how that's one of the easy ways spirits can speak to us. Everybody got to go sleep. Okay, 4 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. But you got to sleep. And so your spirit team, they will all communicate through you through dreams, your subconscious mind, etc. The unconscious, write it all down. Even what may feel random or doesn't make sense now can. Literally, my first dream was in 2016 after I awakened. And I immediately started a dream journal. And, as I remembered, I didn't force it or nothing. I just wanted to write my dreams down. But the first dream I had was where a leopard showed up. It was chasing me, running after me and my son. And at the time, I thought it was chasing me. I did, because what else would I think it was? But it took me 8 years to understand what that dream was actually telling me. 8 years. That leopard was my ancestral guide showing up because I had said I was ready before I even knew what I was ready for. Okay. And I only remembered that and could decipher it because I had wrote it down. I wouldn't have remembered that. I just listened to a dream from 2021 that blew my mind. I completely forgot about. And another time is when, after I did my first elevation work with my mom, she showed up in a dream a couple of weeks later and handed me a literal phone, and told me that she was ready. She hugged me. She was happy and said, "We good now. I got you." Like, so ancestors will visit us in dreams. It doesn't always have to be super dramatic, but when they come through, trust that and also write it down. because it always has a meaning and usually not literal, symbolically. So don't just look for people. Animals are also a part of our soul families and our ancestral lineages too, and they will show up sometimes before you see people. Okay? Remember, pay attention to what shows up and write that down if you can remember. One thing you can say today, about 20 to 30 times as you are drifting off to sleep. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams. I remember my dreams. It's a mantra, an auto suggestion. You can use that. Sign 2, the physical world. So another way they communicate to us in the physical world, right? A smell, a perfume in a room where nobody else is, and it's that person's scent, and you smell them, right? That is spirit. That is them. That is letting you know they are here. After my mom passed away, and she passed away in my car, right? I would smell her, and I'm like, damn, I would smell that smell other places. It was kind of the last smell I had smelled, and it was after I had cleaned, and I knew then, like, oh, that's her. That's her. And but after I elevated her, I did not smell that anymore, interestingly enough. And so the reality is the spirit realm exists on top of this one. They are always around, okay? And our fields are intermingling. So they will use any way to communicate to us, to assure us they are here. A taste, a sudden craving for something you don't normally eat, but there's someone that's on your mind. Their name popping up in your mind. That usually means they are around you. Okay, y'all? Talk to mediums. Okay. That is them. And you can honor that and say, oh, I'm here. Sometimes I'm outside minding my business, gardening, and then I see a random orange cat, and I immediately think of my cat Peaches that passed away in November. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see you here. You here, Peach. Honor that. It strengthens. What else could it be? You feel what it is. You're not delusional for doing that. You are asking for a relationship to spirit. And if you don't honor the way spirit communicates because you're afraid of, am I just making it up? Then how you gonna talk to spirit? And when they show up there to remind you that you're not alone, because even you know that, but you still don't live like that. Because I had to get there too. Took a damn decade. All of that is communication. And why it works is because spirit communicates through symbols. Symbols bypass the conscious mind right to the subconscious. Because the conscious mind can say, no, it's not real. Just let the symbol speak and say, I honor it. I see you. I got it. Boom. This is how they reach you in the mundane. Okay? Because how long are you at the altar? 10, 15 minutes? But you're everywhere else in your life. Spirit can't just wait to speak to you at the altar. You know? They got to reach you in your life. Butterflies is another way. I know that's a symbol for my mom. She loved butterflies. She expressed herself as a butterfly. And it's peculiar enough that I know, oh, that's her. That's her. And sometimes it's just a knowing here. Trust that. Trust yourself and your own spirit. Now, this is the third sign that your ancestors are already talking to you and you're missing it, okay? Your ancestors will speak through other people, and I'm sure you've already experienced this, okay? Other people's giving you the message that you didn't know you needed. A stranger says something stops you, and it was just the very thing you needed to hear. A friend gives you advice that you didn't really ask for, but you know you needed that. A bumper sticker, a license plate. I mean, just literally, they will. If you ask, the universe will respond. You just have to notice it. Something you see in passing, just landing, just right, like, oh, my cat Peaches. I mentioned that every time I see an orange cat, I know it's him. When I was just outside preparing to film, looking at my garden, I heard his little squeak, but I didn't see nobody out there. And I was like, okay. And I felt like he was reminding me to get my butt in here to record. I was like, okay, I got you, Peach. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I see the other orange cats out of nowhere. And they're just far enough for me to see the body shape and see him in body, but not see their face, you know? It's not you, trying to make a sign out of everything, but this is literally how spirit communicates. And I don't want you to feel like, no, but don't ask. And then negate and deny every single way that spirit uses to communicate to you, because they're going to use spirit and energy, going to use the path of least resistance. They will use whoever and whatever is available to get it to you. They will use the cashier at the grocery store. You like, what? If that's what it takes, and look, I'm not turning no messages down, but you use that discernment, right? Because our ancestors do not speak nasty things to us. They speak to you in love. They are that loving voice, not that critical voice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Clack it. Now, this last one, your body. Your body. This wonderful, glorious, magnificent body of yours is another way that your ancestors will communicate with you. They call those fissures, but chills, goosebumps. Sometimes you can feel like a tingling. You can feel. I've experienced that. And that's because they're in our field, right? They reside within us. We are activating something already within us. So that's one way that spirit can let us know that they're around us. This is consciousness. It's just dense. So you can see it, but it's sacred, it is alive, it's intelligent, and it's wise. Your body oftentimes feels what your mind has already let pass through. Right? And so you're getting this response, this somatic, right, experience in your body. Through me, it's usually chills, and I can sometimes start to feel this fluid, energy of sorts. I've experienced that, especially if you do like qigong or tai chi, any type of energy work. But you are the receiver. Your lineage lives within you. You are a chapter in a greater book of your lineage. And so your ancestors are communicating to you always because they need that chapter written the way you said you was going to write it. When you lack self-trust, when you don't have stillness in your life, and you don't make space to build this relationship and strengthen this connection, and even if you have an unhealthy relationship to your own body, you may not feel the signs, nor do you trust them when they show up. So you're going to have to change that. When you are at your altar, when you have sent out that call, that conversation, that declaration, when you are sitting in silence, trust what you feel. Speak to them. Your ancestors are residing within you. And the more that you love, honor, and trust your body wisdom, the better you receive. Don't think yourself out of it, okay? Too much thinking. Root this in your body. Feel this in your belly. Stay in it, okay? Here is a hidden sign that your ancestors are already speaking to you. You have an inclination, okay, to grow beyond the life you inherited, beyond the town you grew up in, even beyond the family shared values that you inherited. That desire to grow is them in many ways communicating to you so you can get active. That's one of the hidden ways that our ancestors are helping us, sending us power, sending us guidance. Maybe you're the first one who says, no, I got to stop this. I got to end. And you might feel like the black sheep or a cycle breaker, but that rise to grow is them saying you can do it. And that's one of the ways they communicate to us. Your ancestors are not seeking perfection from you. They're not demanding any of those things. That's that old woman voice. And we'll get to that next in the next video, because I'm going to have some prompts, some ritual work for you to do. We're going to help clear the way for real. Because now that you understand, now you're probably ready to do a little clearing work to get you going. But here's what your ancestors are seeking. They're seeking for you to remember that you said you were going to be the one and that you're ready now. They're looking for someone who's willing to open up and invite them in, because they won't overstep. When you make that invitation and that call, they are always desiring to guide you, and they are doing it really. But it falls on deaf ears, eh? Your job right now, and the only one you need to do, because this is a journey and a process, right, is to just start paying attention today. Just commit to paying attention. Always remember, you are already connected to your ancestors. You do not have to be good enough to hear from them. You do not have to give them any and every last thing, your last dime. You do not have to earn their support. You just have to decide that you're ready to transform and ask for it. Now drop a comment and tell me how your ancestors been speaking to you when you ain't been paying attention. Okay. What was the first ancestral message you got? Remember, I read every single one of these, even if I don't reply immediately. Eventually I do. But babe, you're sacred, never basic. And don't forget, the next video is going to help you start the process of shadow work, because I know you heard about it. But over here, we do shadow work a little different. Over here, shadow work. Let me tell you. It's love work. Let me tell you. Okay, I'm going to see you in the next video, okay? Babe, you sacred, never basic. May the wisdom shared here open new paths in your life. May your ancestors continue to walk with you, not in front of you. And may your journey unfold with clarity, power, and peace. See you in the next video.